In the past few years, AI hasn't quite been good enough to break into the educational side of chess. Whilst engines like Stockfish and Leela obviously dominate the chess scene, they're not quite AI, as they're engines that serve the sole purpose of playing chess. If you've watched chess videos on YouTube for any amount of time, you'll know just how terrible platforms like ChatGPT are at chess. They can't really play a full game without making an illegal move. But a few weeks ago, an AI-powered chess website reached out to me to go through their website for a video. And in today's video, we'll be exploring if their AI integrations are actually useful things that you can use on your chess journey. Today's video is sponsored by chessmind.ai, and whilst we will go through everything you need to know about the website in just a second, the links are all in the description as well. I'm going to be giving my brutally honest rating for each section that we do go through, and an overall rating at the end. So without further ado, let's start today's video. Puzzles. We're going to start off on what will be the smallest section of the video, puzzles. There are 3 modes: puzzles, puzzle flash, and time bomb. If we're speaking strictly puzzles, they're pretty good but don't have any AI integrations as of yet. Keep in mind the website is relatively new, so you could probably expect a lot of updates in the future. You can filter the puzzles by theme and opening, which is absolutely crucial in my opinion. But if we're being completely honest, I don't think this is the selling point of the website at all. It's a great foundation for potential innovation with AI, but as things currently stand, it's just a functional and, more importantly, free place that you can train your puzzles. So for this part of the website, you won't even need to pay for anything. Puzzle Flash is more of the same. Essentially, it's just Puzzle Rush, so we won't talk about it too much, but it's definitely a welcomed feature. Time Bomb is another feature within the puzzles section that's quite unique, and I've only seen this in a handful of chess websites. Essentially, we're playing Puzzle Rush again. However, you start with a much smaller allocation of time, with each correctly solved puzzle adding additional time on, meaning you're rewarded for puzzle completion. If you make a mistake at any point, you lose. However, since the puzzle section isn't the backbone of the website and serves more of a bonus, we'll wrap it up here. There's certainly a lot of potential in the puzzle section on this website, and more importantly, it's completely free. All in all, we'll give the puzzles a solid 7 out of 10. It's essentially all you could ask for a basic puzzle feature, and more importantly, it's free. Now let's move on to the AI integrations. Quizzes. There are 3 main quizzes on ChessMind that we'll go through individually, which features the AI integration that we were talking about earlier. Let's first look at the knowledge quiz and see how it works. You'll be given a position from a game which you'll have to explain to the AI. You need to outline all of the board characteristics such as king safety, space advantages, or material advantages. If you successfully identify each strength and weakness in the position, you'll be able to move on to the next position. Let's quickly do a live demonstration of this. So we're on the ChessMind website and we're on the knowledge quiz section. So this is what it looks like. You'll get a board with a certain position, and you'll get this panel on the right that says who is better, explain why. And it literally wants you to write in why this position is better and list characteristics about the board. So we'll give you a very good example. We'll also do the second one. There are plenty of, you can see here, we're clicking the arrow. There are 22 example positions, which will most likely be updated as well. You can see in the top right, it's white to move. It has all the material on the top and bottom. So you can see black is up by 2 points of material, but let's figure out who is better. In this position, I can immediately, maybe it's not immediate for you, but for simplicity purposes, I do think that black is better here. Black has a massive space advantage. They've got pieces that suit the position. These 2 rooks don't really suit the closed position, but this bishop and this knight does. So I'm going to say, first of all, black is better. Although black is currently down an exchange, the dark squared bishop and knight are controlling extremely important dark squares. So we'll start at that. I think that black also has a lot more space, so we can write black has a lot more space in the position. What else am I missing here? There's no pawn advantage for black or for white at all, so there's no real advantage there. And I think we've covered most of the important things. Maybe I've missed something, but we'll finish off this. Black has a lot more space in the position and should have a great attack on the white king shortly. So now we can click the submit button, which is just hidden below my face cam, so we'll click submit. Maybe I've missed something in this position. The king is safe. We could also write something about the black king being very safe. But let's click submit and see what the AI thinks about our answer. I think this is a pretty good answer, but we'll see. White is an exchange up. We got that right. Hopefully it says... Yep, okay, there we go. We got that right. White is an exchange up. So it's looking for what the important characteristics are in the position. This is what the AI thinks is important. And what we have mentioned. So we mentioned that black has very strong control of the dark squares. Black has a very strong knight on f4 and a bishop on d4. I didn't say that white's bishop is nearly useless. Overall, I did say that black was better, so we missed this important characteristic, which is true. I would even go as far as to say that these two rooks are pretty useless as well. But yeah, we did miss one thing. We can retry this if we want. There is a retry button just there. But we'll go into the next one just to give you another example, and we get this position. So I've got this second position. This is also a pretty complex position and a little bit more difficult to kind of explain why this position is better for one side. I do think white is better. Immediately, I'm going to say white is better. There is this queen side kind of dominance over here seems a lot more kind of it's like it's flourishing more than this king side counterattack. Because it just doesn't seem like this is going anywhere. The pieces aren't involved enough on the king side. This rook really needs to be over here somewhere. And I just think that this kind of advancement of pawns on the queen side is going to come before any counterattack. So we're going to say white is better in this position. The queen side pawn storm is going to be much quicker than black's counterattack. So I think that's kind of the reason. It's a little bit of a difficult position to explain because there's not any immediate threats. It's just going to be maybe in 10 moves time, white's going to be a lot better and it's going to be a lot more clear. I think in a position like this, it might be a little bit pointless to mention a rook on a8. Like, this is a very inactive rook, but I think that's obvious. You know, there are more important things. I'm not really sure what else we should... And maybe we say white's pieces are slightly more active, and we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Maybe there are more things that we've missed, but just for the sake of showing how this function works, we'll click submit and we'll see what the AI thinks, what it came up with, and if it thinks that we accurately describe this position. So we said white is better in the position, which the AI also agrees with. The AI said light square bishops have been traded, which favors white in most King's Indian pawn structures, which we didn't catch onto. That is true, though. A little bit of a difficult thing to catch, but these are difficult positions. And then we said white's queenside attack is far more advanced than black's kingside counterattack, which we also caught onto. Which are the main reasons why white is better in this position. It's a little bit tricky, no material advantage. There's no clear way for white to win material. It's going to be a slow win, like we mentioned, but this is how the knowledge quiz works. Really, really cool AI integration, which I like a lot. I think that writing things down is a great way to learn. I'm pretty sure that's a scientific thing. Writing things down will make you learn things faster, which is this quiz takes full advantage of that. But yeah, that's how the knowledge quiz works. On top of this, you can also try out their timed mode, where you'll need to figure out all of the identifying characteristics of the position while simulating the time pressure you'd face in a real game, which is super useful. If you want something a little bit easier, you can also try the evaluation quiz, which is as simple as it sounds. You need to calculate the position and identify which side is better, or if the game is equal. This is an imperative skill to have in chess, as good evaluation skills dictate the confidence you can play with in any given game, allowing you to know for sure when to be passive or aggressive. This feature is pretty self-explanatory, so we won't do a live demonstration, but we will for the next quiz, Find a Plan. In this quiz, we're given a position and are instructed to find a plan to continue with. On the right panel, you'll be given options to choose from, and you'll need to select which is the most efficient plan in the position. Let's quickly run through what this might look like. So now we've got the Find a Plan quiz, which is also a very cool quiz. This one's a little bit easier because you do have some answers on the side of the board that you can choose from. You're not completely on your own like the last one we looked at. So in this position, you need to evaluate. You've got this same kind of structure where you've got the board here and you've got this panel to the side. And you've got all of these answers and you need to select the best strategy. So the first strategy that they've got multiple options. Trade minor pieces. I think this is a little bit too vague to be an answer. I think it's implying bishop e5. Bishop e5 is not a terrible move. I don't think it is a bad move by any means. Because you want to stop this e5 advancement. I think keeping this weakness of the backwards pawn on e6 is very important. But bishop e5 takes, I guess it kind of achieves that plan, but then you've got to imagine something like king f7 is going to be quite strong. And I'm just not sure if this materializes, and I think we're trading off too much material to really take advantage of this weakness. The next one is create a checkmate attack on the king side. That would be great if we had that. I don't think that's really an option. There is no checkmate attack on the king side, I don't think, so I don't think that can be the answer. Control e5 and attack the e6 pawn. I like this as a general idea. Maybe something like queen g4 is the way that we try and do this. It's a little bit difficult. That also could mean that we're going to play bishop e5 at some stage as well. And then you've got invade on the c file with rook c1 to c7. So after rook c1, you would expect something like rook c8 to be played. And then after takes, you've got like queen takes, and I'm not sure that we're achieving anything here. This e6 pawn is still heavily defended, and it doesn't seem like we're going to break through anytime soon. So I think that control e5 and attack the e6 pawn should be the best strategy. Targeting the weakness in the position and making sure that they can never make this pawn break does seem very important to me. So we're going to go ahead and click this. And it is correct. And we have this reasoning over here. So I'll move my face cam over to the side. The right plan is to control e5 and attack the e6 pawn, since the c file is open for both, so fighting for it will only lead to a trade of rooks. Creating an attack on the king side won't work without first securing the center. Overall, the ideal plan is to control e5 to prevent black from breaking with e6 to e5. Attack the e6 pawn with rooks, a queen, and a bishop from h3, so it wants us to play h4 and attack the pawn like this. Once black adopts a passive defense on the e6 pawn, we can attack on the king side with h4, h5. So, almost all of these are correct. Okay, there were two correct options. Creating a checkmate attack will be the correct option, but we need to make sure we do this strategy first, control e5 and attack the e6 pawn, and then we can get to creating a checkmate attack. So this was really nice. Of course, you can click next and do the next one. We won't, just for the sake of time in this video, but a pretty cool quiz nonetheless. The quizzes on ChessMind are super cool, and I think it's very obvious that with time, they're going to scale up their AI integrations. But even now, these quizzes are really useful tools to work with. I can 100% see other websites jumping on this bandwagon and rebranding this idea to use on their own websites. It's new, it's innovative, and unlike other nonsense that I see online, it actually does seem useful. For the quiz section of the website, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. There's no real industry standard for this kind of thing, so it's a little difficult to judge, but I do think it's really, really useful. Courses. ChessMind also has a wide variety of courses that you can pick on their website that all come under their $4.99 subscription monthly. This is obviously significantly cheaper than courses you would find on something like Chessable. The courses are super clean, and you can even request a course on their main menu. Let's jump in and partially complete a course together. So here we are on the courses page. There are plenty of courses to pick from. We can just scroll down a little bit here for the white side, and you can even go and look at openings for black as well. Before we move on, there is a dark mode feature, which a lot of you guys will really love. I know lots of people hate light mode. But we can go into the Owen's defense. I've done a little bit here just so, you know, we're not spending too much time on this course. But there are 4 modes, essentially. There's a little bit more than 4. There's learn, practice, speedrun, play, puzzles, and quiz. We won't look at puzzles because we've already gone through puzzles, but everything else we will take a look at. Learn is very straightforward. There's this little guy, this little bird. I don't actually know what it is. I assume it's a bird. That is telling us everything that we need to do. So if we click this arrow, it's going to tell us the move that we need to play on the board and why we do it. We take control of the center. That's a very obvious move. It's e4. So they're playing the Owen's defense with b6 here. And now it says we complete our perfect center. And we'll read a little bit more into it when it comes up, when the position is more unique. So they're playing bishop e7, attacking our e4 pawn, and now we're defending it. We protect our queen and prepare to establish an ideal setup with knight f3 and queen e2 next. So now they're going to play e6. The best move order, preparing c7, c5, or d7 to d5. So this means c7 to c5, or d7 to d5. These are the next best two moves for the black pieces. So we can continue. Knight f3, just like it said, we develop our knight, and now they're playing c5. Our opponent challenges our center in the most accurate way. We don't have time with d4 to d5, so we don't have time for this because they would take, and take with their bishop. So we have to play something else, which is the move c3. We want to recapture with the c pawn if they take in the center. So now they play knight e6, attacking our pawn. We want to play queen e2, just like they said a couple of moves ago. And we kind of basically get the point. We're going to skip through here a little bit. Hopefully I can remember all of this. Let's go. And now we can play the practice mode, which will start in 15 seconds regardless. You guys can't quite see that though. There's a little timer down there. So we'll press practice. And we've got e4, and we just need to remember all of these moves. e4, d4, we've got bishop d3. They're playing e6 here. We play knight f3, we play c3, and you can see, you know, we need to get it right. We'll do an example of what happens if you don't get it right. If you play h3, it'll go red, and you won't get it right. You'll be able to retry. But now we play queen e2. Actually, did I miss something right there? Okay, if you make an incorrect move, it actually highlights the piece that you need to move. So for example, h3, you can see it actually made the move for us on the second incorrect move. But if we play something like e5 is the correct move here, but if we played something like a3, it'll highlight this pawn and tell us to go for it. Now after knight d7, I think we play a3 and we go with b4, and that is the line complete. So we could go and do all of these lines. We can also do speedrun. We'll quickly look maybe at the quiz. And there is a quiz on the Owen's defense, and this is really, really cool because we get to kind of combine everything that we've seen previously in the quizzes to the opening that we want to play. So for example, we've got this position, which is from the Owen's defense. We can see that we played a3 and b4, and we need to figure out what the best plans are in the position for the white pieces here. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time just so I'm not here sitting silently and plan out the position, and I'm going to tell you guys what I think. Okay, so I've sat and looked at the position for a little bit. I don't play the Owen's defense, or I don't play against the Owen's defense like this, so it's a little bit difficult for me to know for sure what the correct plan is, but we're going to try anyway. So in a position like this, I would try to bring the knight back and push the f pawn forward, so that's what I'm going to write. I'm going to write, in this position, we want to play the move f4 and f5 to open up our rook and attack the king that must castle kingside, as the queenside pawn structure is damaged. It's not quite damaged, is very vulnerable. We'll say it like that. That's the kind of plan that I want to go for. I could, you know, say more about it and say exactly what pieces need to go where. These two bishops are very active in comparison to black's two bishops that I noticed. This knight's pretty out of the game, so is this rook, but that's improvements that we can make eventually. And I'm going to just submit this. So you couldn't quite see what I was writing there, but there is a submit button just here, and the AI is thinking. And we'll see exactly what the AI thinks and if we got it right. So it says attacking the base of the pawn chain, the e6 pawn with f4, f5, which we did say f4, f5 was going to be the move that we want to play. I did say attack the king that must castle kingside. Hopefully it realizes, okay, it does. It actually thought that we didn't get it right here. We did say we want to play f4, f5. Sometimes the AI is going to get it wrong from time to time, but we generally did get the right idea. f4, f5, and attacking on the king side is the plan. We can do one more. So we're going to go on to the next quiz. I did the second one. I realized that I did it wrong. This first one is explain white's plans, and the second, third, and fourth one is explaining who is better and why. So those are two different ones. I got all three of them wrong on this quiz because I thought it was the same one as the first, but they are different. So we'll do this one as an example. Who is better and why? I think white is better in this position, just straight off the bat. White is better in this position. White has more central control and has a clear route to castling, whilst castling is spelled terribly there. Castling, whilst black doesn't have much space and will struggle to get their king to safety. We're gonna say that, probably missing a couple of things, but just an example here for you. We'll see what the AI thinks. It's thinking. Takes a couple of seconds, but it gets there pretty quickly. We'll put the camera up here. White has more space, something that we mentioned. Black doesn't have much space. It actually realized that we said black doesn't have much space. It realized in saying that we meant white has more space, which is cool. Black's light square bishop is restricted. I was a little bit too vague with this. I said that... Oh, I didn't actually say anything about the pieces. I said that they will struggle to get their king to castling. I did kind of mean that their pieces are blocking the way. Black's light square bishop is restricted. This bishop is restricted. The typical f4, f5 pawn break is almost ready. Yes, we missed this as well. Black's counterplay usually against d4 is delayed. Overall, white is better. So we got a couple of things right there, but you can see the main functionality of this AI integration. I think it's really cool. Obviously, you would sit here and spend a lot more time than I am on these, but these are really, really cool integrations with these quizzes. So I've gone ahead and completed all of the chapters in this course. You can see there's 13 chapters up here. Once you complete 3 chapters, you can unlock this speedrun mode, which we'll go through in just a second. The play mode isn't quite ready yet. It's not implemented on the website, but it is coming out in just a few weeks. But we can look at this speedrun mode. Basically, you get 60 seconds to do as many lines as possible. Every time you get a move right, you get an extra second on your clock. So we'll go through it very slowly here and do one line. And you can see we play e4, d4, and we just have to put the moves on the board as we remember them from our studies. So we go takes, knight f3, the knight comes out, we sacrifice the piece. I think we play rook g1. Ooh, now I've got to remember what we do. I think we drop our queen back. I don't remember what to do here. I guess taking is fine. And check. Is it check here? It is check here, and we pick up the piece. Okay, so we didn't quite get it perfect there, but you can see how a little bit of time was added on for every move that we did get correct. There's also a leaderboard over here. Very cool feature, very useful feature as well. I always think that doing things like this in timed circumstances is always going to help you, especially when you need to get used to kind of playing quickly or playing a little bit quicker than what you might be comfortable with. It's always a good skill to have. Basically, that's everything to do with the course feature on chessmind.ai. Overall, I think the courses on Chessmind are pretty good. Over time, the course selection page will obviously be updated, which is a bonus, and all the other features are in great working order. I really think it's a great tool for anyone that doesn't really like studying. Chessmind makes it fun to study and takes out all the boring theoretical work that you would otherwise have to do. In a few months' time, I think my rating for this category will go up when they have a lot more selection, but for now, I think giving it an 8 out of 10 is pretty good. Overall, I really do think that Chessmind is worth the small subscription fee that you would pay to get its services. Not only that, but if you're unsure about it, there are plenty of free options to use along your way. If you guys hadn't realized already, I don't usually take sponsorships on this channel for products that I wouldn't use myself, and Chessmind is no exception to that. Of course, its usefulness will vary from person to person, but I'm sure a lot of people watching this video will find some use from its AI integrations. If you guys would like to get started, you can click the link in the description below and use code JACKSARK at checkout for 35% off your first purchase. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and at least have a better idea of what Chessmind is. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the platform, and I'll see you guys in the next video.